Welcome to the World Theater at California State University, Monterey Bay. California State University, Monterey Bay resides on the indigenous homeland of the Esalen people, also known as Carmeleño, Monterey Band, and Rumsen. It is on the rich homeland of the Esalen, where CSUMB not only thrives as an institution of higher education, but also provides an education abundant with service and experience to a diverse community of learners. As our students, staff, faculty, alumni, and community members explore the university's campus, remember to respect the land and take note of the natural beauty. Remember that ancestors rest below pathways and in other less traveled areas on campus. We are here, let Kai lie.
Hello, good evening, hola, bienvenidos, buenas noches. My name is James Cesar. I'm the Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities Social Sciences, and it's a thrill to be able to welcome you to tonight's programming at the World Theater. I have the best job in the world, and I have the best job tonight because I'm going to be able to thank all the folks who made this event possible. First, I want to say thank you to the CSUMB faculty, staff, and students in the crowd tonight. I appreciate you being here. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I'd like to thank the members of the Dean's Advisory Council here tonight. Thank you for your ongoing support. And a gigantic, enormous thank you to Juan Sanchez and the Palenke team. I want to recognize them individually. Cindy Aguilar Castañeda, Jocelyn Resendez Nieto, Jessica Diaz, Lirio Hernandez, and Hector Aguila. Round of applause for the Palenke team. And of course, our visual art and music department, the folks who were responsible for organizing this event on our end, Violet Cavici Munoz, Angelica Moro, Dio Mendoza, and Fleur Paget. And Violet has also passed along some names for me to thank. Jocelyn Martin and student coordinators at El Centro. Reveriana Pacheco and Sydney Gaither at College Corps and Service Learning Institute. Music major Joel Sanchez Garcia. And I want to give a really great applause for the technical support staff who make every one of these events possible. Taylor Wilson running things from behind the curtain. He's joined by technical support staff Bill Stacy and Drew Lassen. Bill's over here in the booth. I think Drew's up in the back. And we also have some wonderful student assistants helping us out tonight. Vince Santos, Cloud Bell, and Latasha O'Neill. Great round of applause for those folks. Thank you for being here tonight. I'll pass it over to Juan. I just want to say that if you appreciate this programming, if you'd like to see more of it, consider supporting it. You'll see QR codes around the building. College of Arts, Humanities, Social Sciences, Palenke Arts. There it is. If you want to zap it with your phone, you can take the chance to do it. If not, there are some signs posted out in the lobby, and I'm going to pass it over to Juan. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. What a lot of thank yous. Of course, my name is Juan Sanchez. I'm the Executive Director of Palenke Arts. Muy buenas noches, yo soy Juan, el que le tienen que echar las quejas y también el que humildemente les quiere dar la bienvenida a este campus que es tan hermoso. It's always great to come back to campus. I used to teach here, service learning. I was a professor for 21 years, and I just had a moment walking in front of the building for a second. Antes estuve enseñando aquí, ahora me puse así como, wow, este era aquí. Aquí este es un sitio muy especial para mí. I want to thank, of course, the College of Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences, the Department of Music and Visual Arts, and Dean Husser for all the leadership, and just for me, it's like it's so special. Palenke Arts is a multicultural art center in Seaside that aims to transform the community through the arts. Queremos transformar la comunidad a través de las artes. And if you've seen all the programs that are upcoming, we're busy. Tenemos muchas cositas, ¿verdad que sí? I want to recognize members of I think we have a couple of board members in the house, and I want to acknowledge them, of course, our wonderful staff, volunteers. We have Archie Martinez doing video, and Wes White also. Where are you? There they are. Yeah, always and tonight is it's a very special program, and I want to tell you this at least a couple years in the making for me. I became aware of La Mezcla and their work a few years back as I saw their show Pachuquísmo at the Brava Theater in San Francisco. Became an instant fan, and for me, when I saw them, cuando vi su trabajo, digo, wow, these folks don't have a minute in their lives. They're always rehearsing, they're always thinking new things. I love how their art is activism, and is also incredibly rooted in many rich cultural traditions. I had also the pleasure of seeing the work of Ghostly Labor, the full show, in collaboration with Mezcla at the San Jose State Theater, and wow, I just felt I want to bring these folks to our community, and tonight they're here. Yes. The night is going to start with a film called Convivencia, which was produced by La Mezcla, Vanessa Sanchez, and John J. Leaños from CSU. And it's a tribute to farm working women. For women who are domestic workers in this part of the world. Ghostly Labor is farm working women. And when I saw it, I just immediately thought of our families. Vamos a ver una película que se llama Convivencia, que es un tributo a las personas que hacen trabajo doméstico, muchas de ellas inmigrantes, muchas de ellas no se les da su dignidad. Y para mí es importantísimo el poder crear ese espacio. Y eso va a seguir con el concierto, el Ritmos de Resistencia. We're going to continue with a show called Rhythms of Resistance, incorporate dance and live music. Not gonna say anymore. Please join our social media, our outlets. Follow us, our newsletter. Those of you who get the newsletter, you know that I bombard you with all the programs. But I hope that you can come out and enjoy some other shows. Without further ado, I give you Convivencia, John J. Leaños en La Mezcla. Thank you so much.
mi derecho como trabajadora de decir, mi trabajo es un trabajo digno, ¿ya? Yo respeto tu trabajo, tú respetas el mío. Entonces, ahí he aprendido a saber de mis derechos, a alzar la voz, a no quedarme callada cuando una injusticia se está cometiendo. Las aspiraciones es seguir aprendiendo sobre mis derechos, tener, porque nosotros más de 500 años como trabajadoras no estamos en el código laboral y estamos incluidas de eso. Yo siento que debemos luchar y ganar esa carta porque no nos beneficia nada más a nosotros, no nos beneficia a todas las personas que van llegando aquí. Soy una mujer inmigrante, pero una mujer fuerte.
La colectiva. Mira que nos vamos a formar. La colectiva. Mira que nos vamos a formar. La colectiva. Mira que nos vamos a formar. La colectiva.
wave, y'all. Thank you. Oh, now you're all waving. Thank you. Bienvenidos. Welcome. My name is Sharon Benitez. I'm the company manager of La Mezcla. We are led by the executive artistic director, Vanessa Sanchez. Make some noise for Vanessa Sanchez. Thank you so much to Palenke and to CSUMB for inviting us. We've been talking to them for like a while now, and so I'm so glad that we were able to be out here. Did any of y'all see like our other film too that they showed last year? Sí, algunos sí vieron la película del año pasado. Nice. Bueno. Y'all are a very special audience today. Okay, son un público muy importante hoy because today we are presenting 3 of our productions into one mini production. That's right. Let's go con las 3 producciones. You get Ghostly Labor, you get Pachuquísmo, and you get a sneak peek of our work and development called Agualulco. Make some noise for Agualulco. So hoy les toca ver como una mezcla de las 3 presentaciones que normalmente presentamos y andamos de gira mundialmente. Ghostly Labor, el de Pachuquísmo y también un sneak peek, un pedacito de Agualulco esta noche. And so, as you know, our name is La Mezcla, which literally means a mix, right? Somos una mezcla. Y you're going to see different types of traditions mixed up here on the stage. You're going to see some Afro Caribbean music and dance. You're going to see the Son Jarocho from the Sotavento region of Mexico. You're going to see some tap dance. Okay, so vamos a mezclar las 3 tradiciones de Afro Caribeño, del Son Jarocho de México y también el tap de los Estados Unidos. Do y'all like seeing that kind of stuff? Is that at the root of all these traditions, though, is la comunidad. El centro de todas estas raíces es la comunidad. And so it's about the community, for the community, and done with the community. Y esta noche, ¿quién es esa comunidad? A ver, ¿quién es esa comunidad? Okay, so we love to feel your energy, we love to hear you, we love to see you, because traditionally this is all done together. There's no stage, we're just out in the pueblito, outside together, and so we want to feel like we're on the stage with y'all. ¿Les parece bien? Okay, cool. So we want to hear your gritos. Y'all know any gritos? The one who's gonna teach you? Yes, that's your little grito jarocho. Esa. A ver, ¿cuál other? Which other? ¿Cuál otro saben? Any other gritos out there? Arriba, yeah, hit me with an arriba, amigo. Yes, you're that cute little grito. Hit me with that one again. Ready, set, go. Oh my goodness, y'all sound so good. A ver, do y'all know any words like échale? Epa. What else you know? Órale, she says. Y'all are from California if you're saying órale. Bueno, we want to hear that just the whole time, okay? We need this to sound like a party. Queremos que se escuche que estamos en el fandango, en la pachanga, en la fiesta. Sound good? You promise? Okay, sounds good. We're going to check it ready over here. Are y'all ready then? Brothers and sisters, la mezcla, dale!
por estar aquí. Mi nombre es Vanessa Sánchez, yo soy la directora de la mezcla, I'm the director of la mezcla. We are so excited to be here with you all tonight. This is our first official performance in the CSU Monterey Bay World Theater. So thank you all so much for having us, and thank you all for making it out. As Sharon mentioned, our company manager, la mezcla means what? Mix. The mix, right? The mixture. And so what you just saw were two different traditions brought together. Can anyone guess what this dance form was called? ¿Cómo se llama ese tipo de baile? Tap. Tap, right? This was tap dance. Tap dance is a dance form born out of the African resistance in the United States, paired with a tradition from Brazil called samba. Can everyone say samba? Samba! And so we brought these two rhythms together to share and tell the stories of our shared histories, right? Our shared travels and our shared cultural traditions that we have. In this next section, we're going to have two more pieces for you. The second one comes from a tradition of the Son Jarocho fandango. Has anyone ever been to a Son Jarocho fandango? Give a nice shout out. Make some noise. All right, and in that piece, we are going to be playing, singing, and dancing La Guacamaya. Has anyone ever danced La Guacamaya? Ahí, mira. You're going to fly with us, right? All right. La Guacamaya is a beautiful bird, a macaw that flies freely in southern Veracruz. And in this piece, we're going to need your guys' help. Every time our singer, Tanya, say hi to Tanya down there, says the words, vuela, 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 we need you all to say back, vuela. Can we practice? Vuela, vuela, vuela. All right, I think you guys are ready. Before we get into La Guacamaya and the tradition of Son Jarocho from Veracruz, we are going to bring back our tap dancers for a tap dance piece from our show called Ghostly Labor. Y'all ready? Yes. All right, so let's make some noise for these tap dancers coming out of there.
soneros at? There? ¿Dónde? My jarochos. Yeah? Okay. Sounds good. We have more jarocho coming up. But this next piece that we're going to go into is called Corn.
Yes, but before we go into Corn, do you guys want to learn a little bit about what you're seeing up here and what you're hearing on our shoes? Yeah, so I'm going to invite Kirsten. I'm going to say hi, Kirsten. So what you see Kirsten on, this is part of our tap form, right? So tap dance is a dance form, like I said, born out of the United States, comes out of the African resistance, right? So we're going back thousands, hundreds of years when people were forcibly brought over from Africa to the Americas, right? When they were forcibly enslaved and brought with them their rhythms, their traditions, right? And when the enslavers saw how powerful the drum rhythms they were playing were, empowering the people, empowering the enslaved, they took away their drums and they transferred the rhythms to their feet, right? And to continue the language going. Fast forward a couple hundred years and you go to what is now Chinatown-ish in the New York area, and you have Irish immigrants who brought the Irish jig, right? And so you put those two together, and that is what we have come to know as tap dance. And tap dance in its original form is a form of resistance, and with La Mezcla, that's how we approach our storytelling through tap dance. So, this is a tap floor. It's made out of wood, it's nice and sprung, and we treat it a bit like a drum. You see it has mics, just like our drummers' mics have mics, so that you can hear it. And we have metal on the bottom of Kirsten's shoes, nice big pieces of metal. So that way, when she taps her feet on the ground, on the wooden floor, you can hear the different sounds. And just like the drummers, Kirsten can make different tones. She uses different parts of her feet. Can you give us a little example, Kirsten, of the different sounds you can make? Yeah, so that Kirsten in her class. So, with La Mezcla, we are making music not just with our voices, with our hands, with our instruments, but also with our feet. We are creating these polyrhythmic conversations to tell different stories.
All right, so the tap dancers are going to go into another piece that we lovingly shortened to Corn. La siguiente pieza es de una obra que se llama Ghostly Labor. This is from our production of Ghostly Labor, which we have been super fortunate to take all over the years. We took it as far as Martha's Vineyard, we took it to Texas, we kept it here local in San Francisco, and it is revolving around the traditional practice of las tres hermanas. Do we know what las tres hermanas are? Yeah, the three sisters. What are the three sisters in agricultural practice? Maíz, ¿qué más? Yeah, maíz, squash, and frijoles. So you're going to see that reflected in the dancers right now as they come together for corn.
Before anyone owned anything, the land was home to las tres hermanas. They weaved lessons into sustenance and provided for their people. Maíz stood tall and certain, rooting las tres hermanas in purpose. Squash, sprawling and full, shaded the ground and protected las raíces de las tres. Beans held the sisters close and spiraled up towards the sun, coaxing bounty into the earth as was tradition. Hands sank into the soil generation after generation, cultivating the land in communion. Del amor de la gente nacieron ejidos que fueron testigos de la sabiduría indígena que sobraba en ese entonces. The corn yield was both witness and testimony to indigenous wisdom that provided hundreds of strains of corn that fed a borderless nation. Soon, the greed of the colonizer seeped into the soil, and with it, the land became sick with pesticides and agrochemicals that rotted our bounty to its core. They ripped the sisters apart, called this displacement monocropping, called our practices chaos, took tradition and sold it to the highest bidder, all in the name of progress. But what does the colonizer know about interdependence? I looked at the barren ground they left behind. I looked at the forced migration of the hands that knew me best, and I realized, these gabachos colonized corn.
let's talk shop for a second. So, Vanessa mentioned a género, a genre earlier called Son Jarocho. Can we all say Son Jarocho together? Son Jarocho. ¿De dónde viene Son Jarocho? Where is Son Jarocho from? Veracruz, Mexico, right? So, just like Las Tres Hermanas, Son Jarocho también tiene tres raíces. Son Jarocho also has three roots of its own. It has the influences of the Spanish colonizers who came and colonized this part of the world, right? It has the indigenous heritage of todos los indígenas que estaban ahí primero, of all the indigenous people who were there first when the Spanish came. And the third root is the African root. The africanos que vinieron, la fuerza de África, the enslaved folks who were forcibly brought here from Africa as part of the labor force for the Spanish, right? So within the context of Son Jarocho, you'll hear influences from the Arabs or the Moors who conquered the Spanish at first, which is how we get really fun 6/8, 12/8 meters for our music nerds out there. We have beautiful poetry always featured, and the main focus is always la comunidad, the community, right? And it's always centered around a tarima, like a big drum that people get onto and dance on and around and sing with the músicos. Siempre hay que convivir juntos, right? Always together in community when we play and sing within Son Jarocho or any genre of son from Mexico. So our next piece is a Son Jarocho, a son that's called El Coco. Can we say El Coco? So contrary to popular belief, it is not about coconut. It's about a bird, which is an ibis, actually, I believe. And within this coco, our version is reflected and revolving around la lucha. What is la lucha?
The war.
The fight. We have to be the ones out there fighting for the community that we want to see in this world, right? And within this poetry from Laura Rebolloso, we hope that you also see that and, call to action. So, El Coco. con sentido en la conciencia que ella quiere despertar.
Gracias. Un gran aplauso. My name is Pedro Gomez. I've been working with Vanessa for a very long time, and I just want to show you some love. Thank you for bringing me into this project. It's been amazing. It's been amazing just to share these stories and from this perspective of, you know, specifically even like Chicana, Mexican American perspective and these stories and that are, you know, we don't hear all the time. So it's just beautiful to be a part of it. Thank you guys for coming out. And mi hermano, obviously, introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, my name is Carlitos Medrano. I'm one of the percussionists of La Mezcla. Thank you very much for being here.
We're going to need you guys to participate again a little bit. So I want you guys to follow along. We're going to do a little call and response, yeah? But you guys are going to use your hands. So I'm going to clap a rhythm, and then you guys are going to repeat what I do, okay? Let's try it. Un, dos, tres, un, dos. That's good. Let's get one more time. Muy bien, muy bien. Okay, let's try this. That's very good. So it's all interactive, right? Remember, we're making music with our bodies, with our instruments. Talk a little bit about these instruments. So I'm gonna let Carlitos talk a little bit about the instruments.
So today we have a set of congas. Congas were developed or were created in where I was born, in Cuba. It's an instrument I love very much because we use it in everything. We use it in our African inheritance. We use it on the carnival. Does everybody here likes to go to the carnival? Me too. So we use it also in our popular music, which everybody knows, like mambo, salsa, cha-cha-cha, danzones. So conga is one of the more important instruments that we have in our music scene in Cuba at all. So usually there are three of them. They are very important. The low one, or the female, we call it tumba. It's the low end. So it's the one that keeps the low end, the bass, right? So in the middle range, we got the conga or the tres golpes, depending on what you're playing. And you can find them in a lot of guaguancó, bembe parties, and an easy way to play it would be like this. And then, with the combination of these two, we got a very small one. That's the one that we use, like Peter too. The really high one, we call it the quinto. It's the one that improvised, the one that made the party happen, and also the one that always is connected to the dancers. It's very important. When we play all these festive, folkloric, carnival still, there's always somebody in the band that has to watch what the dancers are doing. It's not like you go and do a crazy solo, but you have to watch what the dancers are doing. So, tumba, conga, and quinto. And then I'm sitting in a box, literally, that we call cajon. And cajon is a very interesting instrument because you can find it from the Afro Caribbean. They have developed a very particular way to play it. But also you can find it in Spain, where they use it to play bulerías, rumba flamenca. But also we have our own version of cajones in Cuba. So I think that all these African inheritance, you know, they spread all over the Caribbean, and we develop our own sauce, or salsa, or, you know, a spice So in La Mezcla, we got the fortune, for me, to make my language, my musical language bigger. So we use a little bit of festejo from Peru. We also use the Son Jarocho influence, and I also put my Afro Cuban inheritance on it. And then at the end, you put all that in a blender, and you make your own soup. You know what I mean? So that's very important. We got the chekere somewhere. That's the chekere. It's basically a calabaza that we put some bits on it, and we use it in a lot of like sacred parties, and it plays a very important role. Also, a famous band, Irakere, they used to play on a crazy speed, and the chekere was an important part because it was like the metronome of the band. Master Oscar Valdez used to lead the whole band and Chicho Valdez with that little instrument. You can't get very fast. I feel that we got the quijada.
Does anybody know what this is? A donkey's jaw, exactly. It's donkey. This donkey wasn't harmed, to make the show happen, but it is an amazing instrument, and it just goes to show, the resourcefulness, right, of what it takes to create music, to create art, whether it's a jaw or just a straight caja, a box, to make some amazing music. So all these instruments is, we're taking it back to the traditions and utilizing this in our form, in our performances.
We got Casey playing the wonderful Huicharo, which Peter said that was invented in Sacramento last week. I don't know about that, but he said that was invented in Sacramento. So with the Huicharo, it's kind of like in the family of the huira or the huiro, which is a minor percussion instrument, and also it keeps us to kind of like the chekere to keep the downbeat for the band, and it's very helpful on the percussion, on the rhythm section. See?
One more time. Tap. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There you go, that. And we're gonna keep it going. This is a little a percussion. We're gonna feature the percussion, the musicians real quick. I hope you enjoy.
in that interlude?
Oh, sure. Well, the first part, it was a request by Vanessa. Sometimes Vanessa really put me in really hard spot, challenge. So she said, well, I need a transition. I need a transition, so I would like a percussion interlude. I said, okay. But then I started writing like a percussion break. And then she said, well, but I need some kind of melody. Like you guys go to a groove, improvisation. I said, well, that sounds more complicated. So we start basically, I adapt a piece from the bata drums, and I create like a melody, you know. And then on top of that, I start like improvising in the space that Pedro leave me. That rhythm is called Ochanda, and it's played for the elder ancestors from our Afro Caribbean heritage. And then after that, we go all the way to the Bantu side, which the palo, which is a crazy rhythm and really fast. And you see how crazy we get when we do that. So usually it's a 6/8, and then at the end, we go back to the middle tempo one called Makuta, which is a very festive, actually from the Congo side, you know, from the Congo inheritance in Cuba. We call the Makuta. And have the Caribbean flavor. And then after that, I deliver it to her, and she said, oh, no, I need more pieces. I said, no, that's it. I ran out of idea for this year. So we have been, Peter and I also, you know, he's a very important part of this, because I always like to contribute with other artists. He has been also telling me, oh, let's do this. And, you know, that's the good thing about La Mezcla, that you got so many musicians that they're very talented, but they come from different kinds of experience. And there's a lot of information for me, you know, learning from all of them. So give it up for La Mezcla.
All the amazing artists on the stage, right? So lucky to be working with them. I want to quickly shout out Palenke Arts, CSU Monterey Bay, the amazing tech production team doing the sound. Thank you all for bringing us out here. As we mentioned, La Mezcla means the mix, right? The mixture. So in this next piece, we're going to show you how we bring all of these different dance forms together into one polyrhythmic conversation, right? This is from our newest project. This is a work in progress. This is a sneak peek. The full show has not been premiered, called Awalulco. Can you say Awalulco? In the tradition of Son Jarocho, there's a song called El Awalulco. It's actually my favorite, anyways. It's my favorite to dance. But the word Awalulco comes from the Nahuatl language, meaning land crowned by water. So this piece is specifically looking at the shared traditions, history, and rhythms of Veracruz and Cuba, and the deep knowledge passed through the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico is an important body of water, and this piece is celebrating that. So in this next piece, you are going to see Sapteado Jarocho from the Son Jarocho tradition. You are going to see tap dance. You are going to hear some traditional Afro-Cuban drumming patterns transcribed to the tap dancer's feet, as well as some traditional Afro-Cuban makuta, as Carlitas was just telling us about. Can you guys say makuta? Makuta. Movement. You guys ready for Awalulco? All right, got it. quickly. Do you want to meet the dancers really quickly? All right, down here on the right side, we have Casey. Everyone give it up for Casey. Right here in the middle, we have Micah. And right here, we have Kirsten, who's a dancer and social media manager. Give it up for the dancers one more time, you guys can get ready for the next one. Thank you. Are you guys excited about Hawaluko? Keep an eye out for that piece. It's going to be developed over the next couple of years, and we will be premiering it in late 2027. So we will be around. So we have a couple. What time are we at? Yeah, we have time for a couple more pieces. You guys want a couple more pieces? So we are going to leave Hawaluko, and we're going to go into a show called Pachuquísmo. Can you say Pachuquísmo? And we're just going to do a couple of pieces from our production called Pachuquísmo. Pachuquísmo is a show I started creating 10 years ago in 2016. Started researching it many years before, but really think I started developing this work when I was 7 years old, and I saw Pachucas at the opening scenes of American Me. That was the first time, and it just, I was amazed and fascinated with the culture and statement of the Pachucas, right? And so Pachuquísmo is looking at the Zoot Suit riots of 1943, all the activities that led up to it, but specifically through the lens of the young women, or las Pachucas, that were affected. Yes, give it up for las Pachucas. Las Pachucas were and continue to be a very important subculture within our community, right? Not bending to the strict gender norms, right? But also not conforming to mainstream white society, right, of the 1940s. And so taking up space as a subculture and being proud of who they are, and that is what Pachuquísmo is about. This next piece is called La Morena. If you're a jaranera, fandanguero, have you ever danced, played La Morena? Anyone out there? Yes, there we go. So this specific version of La Morena is La Morena Pachuca. We worked with our maestra Ler Rebolloso in Mexico, who worked with me on the history of Las Pachucas and created letras, original versos for La Morena, speaking about the power, fight, and beauty of Las Pachucas. So.
My name's Kirsten. I'm also social media and marketing for La Mezcla. So if you've ever talked to us online on Instagram, tagged us on Facebook, you're probably talking to me. So hello. Hey. Speaking of, after the show, or whenever you want really, go ahead and follow us on social media. We have a website, la_mezcla_SF. We're gonna post all of our upcoming shows, our upcoming tours, and as well as updates on our new show coming up. So yeah, give us a follow. Our next piece is also gonna be from our show Pachuquísmo, and it is inspired by actual newspaper articles and photos from the 1940s about the young women and girls who were really important and responsible for helping to stand up and rise against systemic oppression and injustices in their community. Yeah? Do we want to be part of it? Do we want to learn a little bit? So we're going to be doing a lot of stomping and clapping. So go ahead, you can stomp at your seat. Stand up if you're at an aisle, I guess. I don't know, is that safe? If not, we can also clap. So we're going to start with our legs. We're going to go stamp, clap, clap. Let's just try that. 6, 7, and stamp. Repeat it on the other side. Stamp. Yeah, so let's repeat that. Right side, left side, right side, left side. The first time is always practice and it never counts, so don't be shy. Yeah? Let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and stamp. You got it. Yeah, that sounded really good. Are we ready to move on to the second part? Yeah, sounds like we are. So we have our stamp, clap, clap, stamp, clap, clap. We'll call that our A section, if you're a musical person and think like that. Our next section is going to be a little bit of a break from that. You're gonna go stamp, clap, stamp, clap, stamp. Let's try that together. 2, 3, and stamp. And then we're gonna repeat that on the other side. Super simple. Let's try it. Ready? Stamp. So let's put it together, the right side and left side. A little bit scary, but you know, the first time never counts. We're gonna go stamp, clap, stamp, clap, stamp, stamp, clap, stamp, clap, stamp. It's all the same sound. Let's try it. Ready? 2, 3, and stamp. Yeah, so we're gonna put that together with our A and our B. No one's looking at you. The lights are off for you guys. I can't see a thing. So try your best. Ready? From the top, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and stamp. Break. Yeah. So you guys are ready. You guys are gonna come on tour with us, right? So this is our protest piece. If you feel called, if you feel something in your body that makes you want to stamp and clap alongside with us and stand together against our injustices of the world, we invite you to. So thank you.
Friday, June 11th, 1943. In this morning's paper, the so-called Pachucos are called Hitler's agents. To that, I am expressing my belief. This racial discrimination they have in schools is where the youngsters' pride is hurt and hatred is started, always being called Mexicans. My 2 girls and my young son are all going to high school. Yesterday, the principal had an auditorium call for just Mexicans. These youngsters resent the way they were taken out of the classes. All Mexicans report to the auditorium with emphasis on all Mexicans. My children were in tears when they told me, "Mother, how do you think we felt? Being the only Mexicans in class and having to walk out, everybody stared." These youngsters are naturally hurt, and hatred gets the best of them. If you care to publish this, you are welcome to do so. Many Mexican mothers feel just like I do, but are afraid to express their opinion.
and information. Make some noise for your fellow community members. I'm wondering if someone can help us out with a group photo, aka Juan, do you have your phone? The photo? Okay, gracias. Anybody else wants to take a photo? Let's do it, por favor. And if I could get my logo up there too, so that way it looks cute. Gracias. Anyway, thank you all again so much. I'll be outside selling merchandise, so y'all can support us in that way también. We got some cool stickers, etc. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Bueno, muchas gracias. Buenas noches.